None of the four of us knew our accidental traveling companions. We started talking by accident, the way people do when sitting across from one another in a train car during a long December evening. The stifling smell from an iron stove, the sinister dull yellow half-light exuded by two lanterns hidden behind curtains, the tiresomely monotonous tapping of wheels, the ugly shadows shifting and shuddering in rhythm with them across the car's ceiling. All this lent a strange, semi-fantastic nature to our conversation. We recalled the stories we'd read and heard about mysterious phenomena, explicable solely by the intervention of supernatural forces, about mysterious forebodings, suicides, and ghosts. The stories differed in accordance with the tastes and outlook of each participant. One of us, most likely a merchant, dressed in a bearskin coat of such gigantic proportions it looked to be too wide even for the largest of bears, was inclined toward stories of a religious nature. Blasphemers attempting to rob a dead man awaiting his funeral mass in a church figured prominently, as well as a monk murdered by highway robbers and reappearing every night to demand proper burial, and an icon in Novgorod in which the fingers of the saint's clenched fist gradually straightened, and when they all did, it would be a sure sign of the approaching end of the world. Another passenger, a freshman medical student, frightened us with cases that took place at the anatomical theater, cases passed on from generation to generation and of an entirely untrustworthy nature. I, too, if I recall, offered a variation on the theme of one of Edgar Allan Poe's amazing stories, having transformed it into something that had happened to a friend of mine. Our fourth companion, a man in a fur hat with flaps and a wrap over his coat, broke his silence only occasionally with monosyllabic remarks. The train rushed on. The car shuddered monotonously, and with it the ugly, mournful shadows on the ceiling. It was as if a band of dull gray snow was rushing beyond the window, barely lit by the train's lights. Sometimes sad black outlines of bare bushes and trees flickered across this band, and then the eye drowned in the cold, spooky gloom in which the sky and snow-covered valley were merged, but also one could feel the raging blizzards. Despite ourselves, our nerves became attuned to all things sad and mysterious. "Of course, gentlemen, everything you told just now is unusual and very scary," the man in the wrap and flappy hat suddenly said. "Except all of it is unlikely. Which one of you could swear these things truly happened and weren't a product of idle speculation? If you'd like, I can tell you of an incident that took place with me personally. Over a course of several minutes, I was possessed by supernatural terror. But these 5 or 6 minutes have been, and I know will remain, the most important event in my life, because the same person is unlikely to experience such horror twice." We became very interested in this gentleman's words, and he began.